What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. Alex Pereira has reacted to Tom Aspinall and the recent eye surgery that has kept the heavyweight champion sidelined. Aspinall still has not shared a clear timeline for his return, but he did post a photo on his Instagram story showing his eyes after the procedure, which quickly caught a lot of attention. Pereira addressed the reaction online and made it clear he fully believes Aspinall. He said some people doubted him and others were extremely harsh, but he does not see it that way at all. According to Pereira, Aspinall is a real fighter and not someone who would ever fake an injury or exaggerate something like that. Pereira explained that he saw the photo himself and found it pretty shocking. He pointed out that Aspinall had just come out of surgery and his eyes looked extremely red. He even admitted the image made him uncomfortable because the eyes are such a delicate part of the body. He added that it is hard to know whether the redness means things got worse or if it is simply a normal part of the recovery process after surgery. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to help support the channel. Moving on to another news, Strickland has made it very clear that he has zero interest in seeing Khamzat versus Nasruddin Imavov. During Media Day ahead of UFC Houston, Strickland did what he always does and spoke very openly, holding nothing back. As many fans already know, he has never been shy about his dislike for Khamzat, often accusing him of holding up the middleweight division with what he claims are fake or exaggerated injuries. When asked about the potential matchup between Khamzat and Imavov, Strickland dismissed it completely. He said he does not see the appeal in that fight and does not believe it would excite fans. In his view, the outcome feels predictable, and he suggested it would likely turn into a boring grappling-heavy contest that nobody really wants to watch. Strickland also went further and took verbal shots at Ali Abdelaziz, bringing him into the conversation unprompted. He mocked the idea of certain fighters and managers being involved in major spotlight events like the White House card, making sarcastic comments about how strange that scenario would be. Strickland implied that the whole situation felt surreal and questioned how some people end up so close to powerful political figures. He even joked about the idea of the current administration allowing something like that to happen, saying it would not surprise him at all. Strickland referenced seeing Ali near major political stages and suggested the optics of it all were bizarre, to say the least. His comments quickly shifted from fight analysis into a broader rant about politics, influence, and favoritism. Amid all the chaos, Strickland briefly acknowledged that if either he or Anthony were to win their next fight, a big opportunity could follow, possibly even on the White House card. However, he made it clear that Khamzat versus Imavov is not something he cares about in the slightest. As usual, Strickland's blunt delivery sparked strong reactions online, with fans divided between those who enjoyed the honesty and those who felt he crossed the line once again. Moving on to another news, Bisping and Felder have shared their thoughts on the current heavyweight situation, and they both agree that it feels unfair for Tom Aspinall. They explained that it is a tough pill to swallow when the fighter involved in the foul ends up getting a massive opportunity, while Aspinall is left on the sidelines. At the same time, they also stressed that fairness is not always how life works. Bisping pointed out that it feels like go time right now, and all signs seem to be pointing towards Ciryl Gane being involved in the next big fight. He admitted that the situation does not feel right because it can look like someone is being rewarded despite committing a foul. However, he added that this kind of thing happens across all areas of life, not just fighting. Sometimes the world is simply unfair, and you have to accept that reality. He went on to say that no one is going to get out of bed every morning and care about your problems for you. In the end, the only people who truly care are you and your close family. Because of that, fighters have to focus on controlling what they can and building their own path forward, even when things do not go their way. When it comes to the division itself, both Bisping and Felder agreed that Ciryl Gane is in a strong position right now. He was just fighting for the undisputed title and was performing well. They also agreed that Alex Pereira versus Ciryl Gane is an excellent matchup and one that makes a lot of sense. They acknowledged that the plan was likely a Tom Aspinall rematch with Gane. Unfortunately, Aspinall is still dealing with serious eye issues, and that situation genuinely sucks for him. Moving on to another news. Concerns are starting to rise around the upcoming fight between Charles Oliveira and Max Holloway. We are now just a few weeks away from their clash at UFC 326 on March 7th, and fans are already debating what kind of approach Charles will take inside the cage. The biggest question is whether he will choose to stand and trade with Max on the feet, or if he will rely on his grappling, looking for takedowns and submissions. Many fans, especially after the Ilia fight, have been urging Charles to fight smarter. Instead of standing and banging, they want to see him use strategy, manage distance, and avoid letting Max close the gap and land clean shots. People still remember what happened the last time Charles decided to march forward aggressively against a dangerous striker. In that fight, he tried to pressure Ilia early, walked straight into range, and Ilia caught him clean, putting him out cold at UFC 317 last year. Now, in a new interview with RMC Sport Combat, Charles made comments that raised eyebrows across the MMA community. He said that if Max points to the ground at any moment during the fight, whether at the start of the round or in the middle of it, he is more than willing to stand right there and trade. Charles explained that this mindset is part of who he is as a fighter. He said he does not run from fights, he hunts his opponents, and he believes that mentality is what breaks people mentally. While some fans admire that confidence, others find it concerning. After his loss to Ilia, Charles openly admitted that he should have followed his game plan and fought smarter. That plan involved hitting and getting out, keeping distance, using calf kicks, knee stops, and front kicks, and avoiding standing still in the pocket. However, once the fight started, he abandoned that strategy, planted his feet, and exchanged shots, which ultimately led to him being knocked unconscious. Because of these new comments, many fans feel like Charles may be repeating the same mistakes. It sounds to some like he is once again ready to abandon a careful approach and go hunting, even against a high-level striker like Max Holloway. The MMA community reacted strongly online, with many pointing out that Charles' greatest strength can also be his greatest weakness. Some fans wrote that if Charles does the same thing he did against Ilia, this fight could be over quickly. Others said that if the fight reaches the later rounds without Charles using his grappling, he could get slept. Several comments mentioned that this strategy simply does not work against elite strikers, and that Ilia exposed that flaw perfectly. Others criticized Charles for not listening to his corner and for feeling the need to prove his striking instead of leaning on his full skill set. Many believe that if Charles does not take Max down, Max could win every single round. Overall, these comments have only added more tension and concern ahead of a fight that already carries massive expectations. Moving on to another news, Alex Pereira has reacted to Jon Jones and the recent health issues surrounding the heavyweight champion, while also teasing what could be his next fight. Recently, we covered the entire Jon Jones situation, where he was furious after a private conversation about his health was leaked to the public. In that leaked discussion, it was revealed that Jones is dealing with arthritis in his left hip to the point where he has become eligible for surgery, something that naturally raised questions about his future. Over the past couple of months, we have also been following Alex Pereira's push to move up to heavyweight, with his sights set on a potential showdown with Jones on the UFC White House card. With this new information out there, fans were eager to hear Pereira's thoughts. Speaking in a recent YouTube video on Valter Walker's channel, Pereira addressed the situation calmly and without judgment. He explained that chronic injuries are part of life for elite athletes, and that hearing about serious physical issues at that level is nothing new to him. Given the long history Jones has in the sport, Pereira said he was not surprised by the news and understands how these problems accumulate over time. As for Pereira's own future, he made it clear that he is open to fighting almost anyone the promotion puts in front of him, as long as it is not at middleweight. He stressed that he simply loves to fight and does not worry much about weight classes anymore. Middleweight is no longer an option, but light heavyweight and heavyweight are both on the table. According to Pereira, discussions about his next fight are already underway. Talks took some time to develop, but he hinted that everything is close, and an official announcement could be coming. Moving on to another news, Strickland is back in the headlines, making sure this fight week stays full of controversy. During Wednesday's media day, ahead of his upcoming bout with Anthony Hernandez, Strickland wasted no time stirring the pot. He began by criticizing the rumored Ronda Rousey versus Gina Carano matchup and took aim at women's MMA as a whole. Strickland expressed disbelief at the idea of the fight, questioning its appeal, and sarcastically suggesting that the only way it might draw attention is if the fighters were half naked or involved some kind of spectacle like dollar bills and oil. According to him, very few people care about women's MMA in general, comparing it to the WNBA and suggesting that women's sports overall do not get the recognition they deserve. He specifically mocked hypothetical matchups, claiming that even the weakest male fighters could overpower someone like Amanda Nunes, while emphasizing that women excel at other aspects of life, such as having children. He then shifted gears to the Super Bowl halftime show, taking aim at artist Bad Bunny. Strickland criticized the NFL for what he perceives as a decline in masculinity, suggesting that the league has moved away from its traditional standards of toughness and has instead embraced entertainment choices that he views as weakening the sport. He specifically targeted the decision to have a foreign artist who does not speak English perform during the halftime show. Strickland described this as symptomatic of a broader decline, claiming that the NFL has become pathetic and that even the players themselves likely dislike the direction of the league. He repeatedly emphasized his disdain, labeling the NFL as gay and implying that it has lost its edge and its core identity over the years. Throughout Media Day, Strickland blended his criticisms of women's MMA, entertainment spectacles, and the NFL, showing the same provocative style he is known for. He made his opinions very clear, openly mocking fighters, leagues, and performers, while using sharp comparisons and colorful language to underline his point. As usual, his remarks drew strong reactions, highlighting that Strickland is just as willing to challenge public figures and mainstream events outside the cage as he is to take on opponents inside it. His blunt, often controversial delivery ensures that his presence in the media spotlight never goes unnoticed. Moving on to another news. Things continue to heat up between Eddie Hearn and Dana White, with both sides trading sharp words in public. The latest exchange started after Dana took aim at Hearn, criticizing his approach to boxing and mocking the Zuffa-style belt, calling it cringe. That comment clearly did not sit well with Hearn, who quickly fired back with a brutal response. Hearn dismissed Dana's comments outright, saying the remarks were strange and disturbing. He claimed he expected more and compared the situation to beating up babies, suggesting the criticism was weak and unnecessary. According to Hearn, the idea that he lacks vision is laughable, and he argued that Dana himself has never shown any real vision in boxing. Hearn went further by mocking the presentation of Dana's boxing ventures. He took shots at events he described as being held in front of tiny crowds, saying they looked like garage shows rather than major productions. He specifically mentioned Max Kellerman hyping up Callum Walsh as the next Roy Jones, claiming it happened in front of barely over 100 people in a makeshift setup that looked cheap and unconvincing. According to Hearn, these so-called super shows are nothing more than dog crap, accusing them of trying to manipulate fight fans with artificial hype and poor quality events. He insisted that there is no grand vision behind them, only noise and empty promotion. Hearn also responded to personal jabs, saying he has no problem admitting he works for his father. He then flipped that criticism back on Dana, claiming Dana has worked for powerful figures his entire career. Hearn suggested that Dana now answers to Turki Al-Sheikh, implying that Dana no longer calls the shots and must do whatever he is told. Hearn finished by claiming that Dana sits at the very bottom when it comes to quality as a boxing promoter. Overall, the back and forth has only intensified the rivalry between the two, turning their disagreement into one of the most heated cross-sport feuds in combat sports right now. Moving on to another news. Dan Hooker is now being called out after wild allegations and leaked messages began circulating online. Serious accusations are being made by a woman claiming to be his ex-girlfriend, who has come forward with a detailed story about their alleged relationship. According to her, Dan was cheating on her, despite being married, and she claims this behavior went on for a long time. She explained that she was fully aware he was married when they met, and said that, at the time, she was working as a dancer and he was a client. This allegedly took place around 2023. She claimed that after they became involved, Dan began paying for her lifestyle entirely. She said he added his cards to her Apple Pay, covered rent in multiple countries, and paid for almost everything in her life. According to her, cheating itself was not what initially upset her. She claimed that whenever he cheated, he would buy her expensive gifts to make up for it. She said this happened so often that she eventually created a shared wish list on iCloud. Every time he did something wrong, she expected something from that list. She even admitted that she would check his phone, sometimes hoping to find something so she could receive another gift. Everything changed, she said, when she discovered messages involving another man. She claimed that finding out he was allegedly cheating with men completely shifted how she felt about the situation. While she reiterated that he is still married, she said she had no issues with his wife and even claimed they got along fine. She went on to suggest that this type of arrangement is more common than people think, especially among men with money and status. According to her, many live double lives with a wife and a girlfriend, and she admitted she would never put herself in that position again. She said she was only 22 years old when she met Dan, while he was 34, and claimed that the financial support and lifestyle changes made it easier for her to stay. She also described what she called manipulation tactics, saying they were subtle but effective, and that she eventually learned her lesson. As part of her claims, she posted images of what she alleges is another phone belonging to Dan. Those images supposedly show private messages between him and other men. She further alleged that he frequently used Reddit to find men in the same area to meet with. These claims quickly spread across social media, sparking intense discussion and controversy. As of now, these are still allegations, but the situation has clearly gained a lot of attention and continues to develop. Moving on to another news, Chael Sonnen has thrown out a bold idea involving Alex Pereira and the upcoming UFC White House card. According to Chael, he is extremely confident that Pereira will be competing on that card, and not just in any fight. He believes Alex will make the jump up to heavyweight for something much bigger. Chael explained that with Tom Aspinall still sidelined and no clear return date in sight, the heavyweight division is in a strange position. Because of that, he thinks the UFC could look at Alex Pereira as a major solution. In Chael's view, Pereira will move up to heavyweight and take on Ciryl Gane in a high-profile matchup, possibly for an interim title. Chael said he feels comfortable telling fans that Alex Pereira will be on the White House card. The real discussion in his mind is not whether Alex fights, but who the opponent will be. He pointed out that while Pereira is the reigning champion, there is no real buzz around potential matchups for him at 205 pounds. There is no strong conversation about Alex versus Olberg, and there are very few contenders at light heavyweight that truly make sense right now. Because of that, Chael believes Alex will step into the heavyweight division. He also added that when a sitting world champion moves up a weight class, it is rarely for no reason. In his opinion, a move like that only happens when a belt is involved, which is why the idea of an interim title makes so much sense in this scenario.